Welcome back. I hope July is going good for you. It's going great for me. If you've been following me on Instagram stories specifically, you'll know that I spent half the month of June on vacation. Paul and I traveled to the state of Massachusetts. We spent some of our vacation on the beautiful island of Martha's Vineyard. Then we went to the Cape Cod, where the rest of the family joined us for 9 days. And we did spend one of those days traveling by ferry over to the island of Nantucket. So Martha's Vineyard, the Cape of Massachusetts, and Nantucket. And it was a beautiful and amazing vacation. I'll talk more about that in an upcoming video. I also vlogged while on Martha's Vineyard, and that was a lot of work. I shared a lot on Instagram stories, but I also vlogged, and I plan to share that video here on YouTube soon. As always, when I'm on vacation, I do get direct messages, and I appreciate that. Many people would share places to visit or just recommendations, and it really worked out quite well because some of the dining recommendations that were messaged to me were already places that we had reservations to go to. So I really do appreciate that. And I've mentioned that my second daughter Haley's boyfriend Vin grew up in Massachusetts, not too far from the Cape, and his brother and sister-in-law live on Cape Cod full time all year round. So they travel there all the time. In fact, probably 2-3 times per month they are on the Cape. So they're really great at knowing the hot spots to go to. And many of the ones that you guys shared were the same exact places that they had mentioned going to and that we ended up visiting. One of the questions that I get a lot of when I'm on vacation has to do with eating, and it's probably because I'm sharing some of the indulgent food that I am delightfully enjoying and celebrating that win. This really prompted me, and I got some other questions as well, but this prompted me to open up the question box and ask you if you had any vacation or travel questions. And I believe I did this at about the end of our vacation, or maybe when traveling home. And many of you did submit questions, and a couple of them did have to do with eating clean, how I manage that, and how I handle getting back on the plan as soon as I come home. So I really wanted today's video to be on that topic. I have spoke on the topic in past videos. I have some videos on vacation eating. I haven't watched them in forever, and they are old, but I'm sure that it's pretty relevant what I shared in there because I can't really say a lot has changed except that the more I vacation, just like life in general, I feel like I get wiser and smarter and I get stronger in certain areas of my life. So I would say even if I were to look back 10 years ago, I've grown a lot even on how I manage myself while traveling. I didn't screenshot the direct messages that I received that had to do with eating while on vacation or exercise, whatever the questions were. But when I opened up the Q&A box on my travels home for you to leave your vacation and travel questions, I did get a couple on the topic. I will insert them in here, and I just felt like this was a great video in itself. So let me just start from the very beginning. We were gone for a full 2 weeks, and one of the things that I always do, or I have for years, I can't even remember the last time that I didn't do this, is I eat clean. I follow my plan while en route, while traveling. So this particular trip, we traveled by car, automobile, and it took us a couple of days. We chose to stay one night in New York. And, we drove a little bit over halfway. We stayed one night and then we traveled the second day. So basically we left on Saturday at 10 a.m. and that evening, maybe around 5:30, 6 o'clock, we checked into our hotel in New York. We actually went and played some pickleball. Oh no, that wasn't that night. Sorry. I'm getting my nights mixed up. So I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit later. Maybe it was more closer. I think it was actually 7:30. We checked into our hotel and called it a night. Well, I packed all of my food for that Saturday. I ate completely clean and I drank all of my water. I packed that as well. And at the time, and I still am, on 2 gallons of water per day. So then we wake up Sunday morning, we get back on the road, and I had packed all of my food for Sunday as well. So I have a cooler with all my food. I don't drink my water cold, so all my water was stored at room temperature. Followed the plan completely. We get on the Cape and we stay at our hotel, and then the next day in the afternoon we get on the ferry to go to Martha's Vineyard. So I kept my diet clean that morning. When we got into Martha's Vineyard, everyone went to kind of a stand to get food, and I'm not typically one to say yes to that. So I forfeited eating that meal, knowing that we had dinner reservations that night. Then we get checked into our hotel, and then we go to dinner that night. And I would say that is pretty much when the vacation eating started. So Monday night of our travel, or of our beautiful trip, that's when vacation eating started for me. But my traveling there and the traveling home, I keep it clean, because it's just fast food. Basically, that's what Paul and Chloe and Jack, that's what they were eating, was fast food the whole way. And I don't eat fast food, so it's easy for me to stay on the plan. I'm not tempted by it. The smell, anything, it just does not tempt me. I've been away from it for so many years. Then yes, I'm a foodie. One of the things that I look forward to, Paul and I both do, this is where we complement one another so well when it comes to our taste in travel and vacations. One of the big areas for us when traveling is dining, is going to some of the highest rated dining establishments. This is an area where we're okay putting our dollar. So when you vacation, you get to decide what's important to you. And that is important to us. I've shared many times, you're not going to find me laying around on a beach, because that's just not what I think of when I think of a vacation. I like movement. I love some of the things that we did. We did this beautiful bike ride. I love that. I love walking around. I love strolling around. I love going to things, and I like to be doing things, but I'm not one to really enjoy laying around, although I do appreciate my downtime. And I'll talk more about that probably in the Q&A video, because this is really tailored more towards eating. But because dining and exploring different foods is something that I look forward to while vacationing, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to indulge, and I'm okay with that. I think that's the key. Again, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I don't have shame and guilt around my eating, because I manage my eating. So some people see indulging as bad. Well, I don't judge food. I don't see any food as bad. I think it's all good. Food has never done me wrong. People have done me wrong, but food has not. So I don't have any of those negative emotions, and I don't eat with guilt and shame. Does that mean that I never have a regret? Not really. But that doesn't mean that I don't ever overdo it. I guess that's what I'm getting at. At the end of the day, I believe everything is the compound effect. And when I look at the compound effect of how I live my life and how I manage my eating, it just so outweighs what the opposite could be. The other thing is, where we were traveling to is like, this is like food haven for me, because I eat fish and seafood. So this is a place I am going to indulge. Now, does that come with a price? Yes, of course it does. Of course, I am going to put on some weight. I'm always going to retain some water. Alcohol plays a big role, and just restaurant food in general is going to put some inflammation on a body like mine that is so completely clean. And that's the downside to being a clean eater instead of eating standard American diet. Because it's foreign, you will have a reaction where no one else is having a reaction from eating because they eat standard American diet all the time. But for my body, it is foreign, but it's worth it for me. And it's all about managing it. So basically on the whole trip, again, as of the first day in Martha's Vineyard on that Monday, I was basically now indulging and enjoying myself. But did I ever overdo it? I really didn't. I will share with you that there was only one day of the entire 2-week trip where I went to bed and I thought, ugh, you overdid it, Tracy. And a lot of it was because I had food so late. We had actually hosted a cookout on the Cape at the rental that we had. And because we had all of we had all of Vin's family in and all of their friends because everyone's out there. So we were eating later, and I went to bed and I was like, ugh, and you won't sleep good. And sure enough, I didn't. And I believe that was, so we arrived on the Cape on a Thursday. It was Sunday. We hosted the cookout Sunday evening. And yeah, definitely that was the only time where I thought it just was overkill. But I was okay with that. I mean, the next day I did wake up in the middle of the night. I didn't sleep well because what you have to understand is standard American diet food, it's harder for our body to process that food. So our organs have to work harder. So because I had overdone it, my organs, they have to work harder to process and break down that food. So I just didn't sleep well that night. But that's really the only night or the only day of the entire trip where I felt like it was just a little bit too much. As far as the drinking, I managed that well also because I'm not willing to forfeit a day, especially while on vacation. It's so important to me to maximize my time because I really look forward to the vacations. But I do want to read a couple of these questions. The first one is eating and drinking plan for this vacation. Well, I kind of just shared that with you. So the plan was that I'm going to keep it completely clean while traveling there, and I'm going to keep it clean while traveling home, and I honored that. And then the person put fasting. I'm not a faster. I don't incorporate any fasting at this time. I'm not against intermittent fasting if that works for you. So just because someone doesn't implement something doesn't mean they're against it, but I have not incorporated fasting into my regime in probably 3 years. So none of that took place. Calorie limits. I also don't really limit my calories even on my clean eating plan. Well, I kind of do. I stay within my BMR, but that's not really limiting. That's the requirement that my body has, my basal metabolic rate. And I talk more about that in 3-week intense if you're doing quarter 3, which starts next Monday. I'll have a link to get registered if you're not yet. And how did you balance it? So I think I kind of covered that question. Again, vacation is a time that I enjoy indulging. And again, it's the compound effect. I am so clean. So I'm okay with going on vacation and enjoying the beautiful food, especially all the seafood. I mean, all of the crab cakes I had calamari several times. I can't tell you how many lobster rolls I had or how much lobster. So I just really do enjoy it. But everything I feel was well managed, but I never held back either. But I was mindful. Did I retain water? Absolutely. That's the downside. And there's some things I plan to do differently moving forward. I really do believe that I need to take, what are the socks called? You know what I'm talking about. The socks that it's not coming to me, but there's some things that I do feel I need to do. One one area I'll fully admit that I was irresponsible in is just keeping up with the water. It's really hard to carry all this water with you. So I would say that after traveling there, besides my traveling days to and from, I was not getting in enough water, and that probably contributed to all the water retention that I had. So that was irresponsible on my part, but it's hard to manage the water intake. It really is. And I need to remember this and see what I can do moving forward to be a little bit more aware of that. And then this question here, how do you get back on track with eating well, exercise, daily routine, and work schedule? Well, one thing about me is I am someone who gets right back on the plan. Is it hard? Yes, it's hard. Oh, is it hard? But choose your hard, right? It's hard choosing this lifestyle, but it's hard being stuck where you are, right? If you don't like where you are today, that's hard because it's weighing on you. While my lifestyle may be hard as well, it doesn't weigh on me. I'm living my best life in that area. So to me, that's the hard that I'm going to choose. So I get right back on the plan. Now, coming home about halfway into our travels, not even that, more like halfway into the first day of travels, Paul brings up the topic of let's just pull it all out in one day and drive home. And I about died when he said that. But Chloe and Jack said, yes, we're just ready to be home because we're already on our way. They want to, take a shower, wash their stuff, get ready for the week. So I never said a thing. So we drove 16 hours. We left 2 weeks later. So our vacation was 2 weeks. We left once again at 10 a.m. on the Cape from our rental. We left at 10 a.m. and with all of our stops, we got home in the middle of the night, Saturday, that night going into Sunday. So we got home at 2 a.m. I ate completely clean and drank 2 gallons of water on that travel home because I was at the rental to prepare that food. Was it great eating? No, it was a lot of tuna packets. It was a lot of ready to go type things because who wants to do grocery shopping when they're wrapping up to leave a rental place? But I kept it clean and it was worth it. Is it hard? Yeah. I mean, they were eating fast food the whole ride home. Again, that doesn't really entice me, but I can't say that I hadn't gotten conditioned to eating standard American diet foods. So at the end of the day, it sounded pretty good, right? Because we will crave what we've conditioned ourselves to eat. So by this point, I am struggling. I struggled more coming home because I'm used to taking in more calories per day and I'm used to standard American diet food. So we get home at 2 a.m. on Sunday. Well, clearly I'm not going to get up at 4 a.m. and knock out my workout. Paul and I did walk Sunday afternoon. I think I jumped on Instagram stories and talked to you guys. But then sure enough, Monday morning, I'm right back on the plan. And actually today when I film this, I'm on day 4 of being home. So I've knocked it out. Today is Thursday. It's actually July 4th. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, back on the plan. And that's everything. That's eating well. That's exercise. That's daily routine. And of course, work because I have to make up for being gone. So I have found that's what serves me best. I believe it would serve most people. I think you're going to feel better about yourself if you do that. But at the end of the day, everyone has to do what serves them. And that's what I do. I step into my own power. I tune out any noise. And I know that getting back on track is great for me. So did I put weight on? Well, I shared in my newsletter recently and on Instagram stories, one thing about me is I never, ever weigh myself upon arriving home from vacation. I can't. I know people do, and again, you get to, but I am retaining water. So I don't have an exact day that I will jump on the scale to see the damage report. And honestly, clothes speak volumes, right? But I do weigh myself the day I'm leaving so that I can measure that, because what you measure, you manage, right? I share that all the time, and we'll be managing a lot in 3-week intense coming up starting next Monday. So I wait until all the water retention is off. And again, we arrived home at 2 a.m. on Sunday. It wasn't until Tuesday morning when I woke up that I was like, I think I've got all the water weight off. I think all this inflammation may be gone. Yes, it takes that long for me. Again, if you're standard American diet eater, you won't have any of this. I mean, Paul never said, I'm retaining water, right? He said I put on some weight, but he never said he was retaining water. For me, I know a lot of it is water weight. So I did jump on the scale Tuesday morning, and basically at the end of the day, I gained true weight 4 pounds, a little over 4 pounds and 2 ounces or something like that on my vacation, which I'm really happy with because I know I can work that off. In fact, that was 2 days ago. Today I'm like about 3 pounds. So I've already knocked off a whole pound, and I will continue. And I have a cookout to go to in a couple of hours, and I won't be indulging at that cookout, but I will be indulging this Saturday when I get together with my friend Amy. And that would have probably already happened when you watch this video, so I'm sure it will be in my Saturday Instagram highlight. If you want to see Amy, check that out. So yes, that is what I do. Again, I can't stress enough the compound effect. So for me, the compound effect of what I do over the course of the year after year, day after day, month after month, week after week, shows, right? So if I go on vacation and I vacation even from my plan, I'm okay with that because I get right back on the plan, and it's the compound effect of what I'm doing all year long. Going on vacation and putting on a little water weight or even some stored fat isn't really a big deal because it's only that little chunk of time. In the grand scheme of things, it's what you're doing. So just remember that. The compound effect of what you're doing, if it's not serving you, it's going to show, right? At the end of the day, we're not all going to have the same results. We're not all going to have the same outcome at the end of our life. And there's a reason for that, because the compound effect is showing up for all of us, right? So if you want to step into your power, if you want to feel good about your choices, that's up to you. That's up to you. There's no excuse keeping you from being where you'd like to be, although most people fall prey to that. You can step into your power, and you're going to have to choose your hard because it is hard on both sides. Which hard do you want? Do you want to stay stuck? Do you want to feel like I'm just not managing things? The beautiful thing about choosing your hard on the side I'm on is there is a great sense of pleasure and self-worth in the fact that I'm managing things. And what happens is I manage every area of my life. Often when you're not managing this, what else are you not managing? So I hope you can take that tool and nugget with you today because it's powerful. I'd love for you to join the 3-week intense program. Again, we start next Monday, July 15th, 21 days of habit formation. Knock out some of the things that aren't serving you. Learn to step into your power. Learn to choose your hard. Check out the testimonials on the 3-week intense page on the Hensel Coaching and Consulting website. Also, check out the video clips submitted by past members. They're saved in the Instagram highlight 3-week intense. Hear what they have to say. Most people come back, and we meet you where you are. So if you're deconditioned, you haven't done anything in forever, and you have a lot of weight to lose, is this program for you? Absolutely. It's for everyone because your hard is your hard and you're going to choose it. So join me for 3-week intense. Registration ends Friday, this Friday, the 12th. So you need to get registered today. And then on Saturday, we get to meet for the live Q&A. As soon as you register for 3-week intense, the email goes out on Wednesday. I don't know what day this video is going out, but on July 10th, Wednesday, the email goes out with everything that you'll need to make this program a success if you follow it. That's up to you to choose to follow it or not to. I can't do that work for you. But then we'll meet on Saturday to address any questions that you have after going through the material. And then we start bright and early next Monday. I love 3-week intense. It is my passion project. And so many members love it as well. So I hope you'll join me there and then watch for some upcoming videos. I'll address the rest of your travel and vacation questions. And I have a vlog coming up of Martha's Vineyard. So we'll see when all of that gets out. But thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking it out. I hope you knocked out a great cardio. Leave in the comment section if you knocked out a cardio while watching today's video, because I celebrate that win with you. You know, multitasking doesn't earn anyone a badge of honor, but there's a time and a place. And when you're watching a video like this, why not knock out a cardio session? Bam, double bam. All right, thanks for being here. Have a great day.